This is what Jesus provides to us. He lets us know who we really are, the true us, our true personhood at the core. And we got to find out, how did we get here? How did we get to this point? What did Jesus do? And what has he done to us and for us and through us? And we are here in Luke 23 today. A huge part of it is about to take place, this crucifixion. All right. Yeah, guys, thank you. All those likes, all those shares. We got a couple hundred people in here. We come from aliens. That's where we come from. That's an interesting take. How did you come to that conclusion? Yeah, Alba, Luke is really incredible. Really good stuff here. Hey, Jacqueline, thank you for joining. Strawberry Bounce. All right. Adam, thank you guys. All these likes, all these shares. Awesome stuff. I know we got to 20,000 likes in like no time yesterday. Had a good couple hundred people in here. Hey, King Ginger, doing great. North Carolina, thank you. Zach, appreciate the donut, brother. Strawberry, thank you. The historicity of Jesus is proven 100% in biblical. Yeah, of course, Ronaldo. See, sometimes some people want to say that, he didn't even exist. I mean, they're just they're ignorant of the evidence here. Uh huh. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Whoever just said, is that why people do that? Stephen, Ilesia, who we got here? Ilesia Donaldson. Thank you for the gifts. Leo Sugar. Oh, there we go, Dana. Thank you very much. Yeah, see, this guy just laughed at evidence. He thinks, there are people out there that think these are just old made up stories, having no idea that their entire time frame, the way we look at time, is based off an event we're about to read about here. King Ginger, Scott, thank you guys. We're about to read about the crucifixion, resurrection of Jesus Christ. So it's pretty great stuff, guys. Victor, Anthony, thank you. Yeah. Rusty, I appreciate you, bro. All right. Janice, hello. April, thank you, guys. Awesome. King Ginger, appreciate the gifts, guys. Hey, Brittany, thank you for coming on in, for joining. April, of course, with the gifts. Leighton, there we go, dude. Appreciate it. Renato says, there's evidence Jesus was born, crucified, and seen by over 500 people. Yep, I'm with you, brother. I am with you. Arthur, appreciate it, bro. And for you guys who just said, if you noticed that, I've got a newsletter on my page. Sign up, type your email in. It's totally free. Austin, great, dude. I'm glad you're here. I know. It is an interesting category, right? We will all believe that, Abraham Lincoln was killed on a certain date in a certain time. He was shot in a theater, right? This is like some historical evidence. But when it comes to the historical evidence of Jesus, people just want to throw that out. They just want to say that's, not the case. The first president or the old wars that have taken place, things like that. Angus, thanks, brother. Spanta Crow, what are you getting at here, man? Zach, right on. Oh, you do Christian apologetics. That's great, man. That's great. Apologetics played a huge part in me coming to the faith, so to speak. Yeah. All right, guys. Cool. Look, it's 3:28 for me. Yeah, Rusty. You could really use some clues right there as we look out into the world. Thank you, Heather. Hey, Crystal. And we wonder, why is Christianity so openly mocked? Why are you allowed to say make fun of Jesus and Christians, and they can be the butt of the joke, and they can make mockeries out of him, music videos, and all these things. You just got to ask, why is that okay? and why is it so prevalent? You just put some context clues. Yeah, Rusty. Oh, I think you're right on there, of course. Yeah. Exactly. The world and the truth, these are contrary. It says in the end days, what is evil will be called good, and what is good will be called evil. And we see this stuff as we play it out day in, day out. You just look out in the world and you can see what they're promoting, and you can see what does Jesus say. What's my view on predestination? I believe God predestined us to be his children. He included us in the resurrection life of Jesus. His great big plan to include everybody. Thank you, George. Right on, right on. Right on, guys. Yes, you're going to find out, guys. All of humanity is included in the work of Jesus. Now, if people don't want to receive this good news, well, that's on them, okay? If they want to push it off and they don't want to enjoy this free gift that God offers to us, well, that's on them. That's on them. Hey, Jason, what's up, dude? Cool. Guys, look, it is... Oh, you got the newsletter? Subscribe to the YouTube? Yeah, hey, was anybody on YouTube today? Did you catch out my fancy new thumbnail? That's right. I figured out how to make a thumbnail on YouTube, so I did that today. All right. Thank you, Adam. Rusty, I agree, man. What you realize, the Bible tells us it's the hardness of people's heart. Thank you, dead man, for the gift. It's the hardness of people's hearts, In the book of Hebrews, it says, today is the day of salvation. Don't harden your heart. So, we have a choice. We have a say in the matter. But God has done something on behalf of all of us. HVRJ Quinn, if you don't know what apologetics is, it's basically a defense of the faith. A lot of times people don't realize that, there are very good reasons for believing what we believe. Scientifically and historically and archaeologically and philosophically, there's just a lot of really good reasons and a ton of evidence as to why we believe the truth of Christianity. So we're not just kind of, taking a leap of faith as the world likes to picture. We actually have very good reason to believe the scriptures and to believe that Jesus is who he says he is, and that he did what the scriptures say he did. So that's what apologetics is. If you ever want to look up, guys, I don't know if this guy Ronaldo does it. Thank you, Spencer. But, you could look up, guys. I think that Frank Turek is a name. ISL, he got into some trouble, but that's it. That's it. Jesus was a Jew. Yeah, hey, user who said that, I love the faith, but I don't agree with some of the things of the church, the Catholic Church specifically. Yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you. There's a lot of bad stuff that people have done. That's why I keep it focused on Jesus, okay? The world, the enemy, the flesh, other people, they're going to do some bad things sometimes, but it's not Jesus. We need to keep it, we need to be able to discern what is good and who God is. All right. Well, it's 3:34, so how about I give it one more minute, guys? We'll get into it. We got almost 500 people in here right now. Right? Yeah, I'm with you. I don't always agree with all that, that kind of stuff. Do I listen to John MacArthur? No. I know I know who he is, but I don't listen to him. So, all right. Charles Stanley. Again, I know who he is, but I don't listen to him. AJ, we're going to read Luke 23 today. It's getting pretty distinguished between relationship and religion. Yeah, real quick, guys, as I get started, there is a religion, so to speak, and generally speaking, people throw Christianity into the category of religion, but you find anybody that is a true Christian, they're going to say, oh no, I have a relationship with God. And this is what we really claim here. We claim that we know God and God knows us. We have an ongoing relationship. We pray, we receive, we enjoy, we love, we exercise the fruit of the Spirit. He lives in us, we live in Him. It is deeper than human relationships. This is beyond the love of God who has given us His very life. Goes beyond human to human relationship here, and this is God to creation. And so religion quite often is separation. Ronaldo, great point, right? Religion is often God is far off, I am right here, and if I do enough things, I can get closer to God. And if I do enough good actions in my life, God may one day approve. If I'm a nice enough person, maybe one day God will like me. But honestly, the truth of the gospel, and this is how you know this is God's way, this is grace, this is Jesus' idea, is that God came to us. He made us right with Himself. He united us to Him. So it's the total opposite of every religion. Every religion tries to find ways to get to God, and in the person of Jesus Christ, God came to us. Anyways, guys, okay, so here we are. We are in Luke 23. We're going to get started right now, guys. Luke 23, verse 1, Jesus before Pilate. Then the whole company of them arose and brought him before Pilate. And they began to accuse him, saying, we found this man misleading our nation and forbidding us to give tribute to Caesar, and saying that he himself is Christ, a king. And then Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus answered, you have said so. Then Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowds, I find no guilt in this man. But the people were urgent, saying, he stirs up the people, teaching throughout all of Judea, from Galilee even to this place. So when Pilate heard this, he asked whether the man was a Galilean. Godfather, thank you. And when he learned that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him over to Herod, who himself was in Jerusalem at the time. When Herod saw Jesus, he was very glad, for he had long desired to see him, because he had heard about him, and was hoping to see some sign done by him. So he questioned him at some length, but he made no answer. The chief priests and the scribes stood by, vehemently accusing Jesus. And Herod, with his soldiers, treated him with contempt, and they mocked him. Then, arraying him in splendid clothing, he sent him back to Pilate. And Herod and Pilate became friends with each other that very day, for before this they had been at enmity with each other. Pilate then called together the chief priests and the rulers and said to them, you brought me this man as one who is misleading the people. And after examining him before you, behold, I did not find this man guilty of any of your charges. Neither did Herod, for he sent him back to us. Look, nothing deserving death has been done by him. I will therefore punish and release him. All right. Do you see what's happening here, guys? Just to catch you up in Luke chapter 23. The chief priests, the scribes, the elders, they finally have Jesus and they bring him. It's like picture a modern day courtroom or something like that. They bring Jesus to the front and everybody is accusing him of something. He's teaching this and he's teaching that and he's calling himself the king and the Christ and a bunch of different things, right? But Pilate, he doesn't find him to be guilty. He says, look, I've examined all the claims. I've examined everything you guys have said, and the guy's not guilty. I find no fault in this man. But they're not happy about it. They are not happy with what Pilate says. The people are really upset. They think Jesus deserves death. Pilate says, nope, this is not for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punish him, and then I'm going to release him. Dana, we are in Luke 23. I just read verse 16. Okay. So what Pilate says is, here, I'm going to put this up on the screen. So Pilate says, look, I'm going to punish him and then I'm going to let him go. But check this out. Pilate, but they all cried out, away with this man and release to us Barabbas. Barabbas is a man who had been thrown into prison for an insurrection that he started in the city and for murder. Okay, this is a tradition at the time there. They had two criminals, Jesus and Barabbas, and Jesus was found innocent. And so on this day, they could have released any of the criminals that the people wanted. And they said, give us the murderer. Give us the guy that started the insurrection in the city. Let him go, but crucify Jesus. This is how harshly they were after Jesus. They wanted him dead. Pilate addressed them once more. And he says, because he wanted to release Jesus. But they kept on shouting, crucify him, crucify him. A third time, Pilate says to them, why? What evil has he done? I found in him no guilt deserving of death. I will therefore punish him and release him. But they were urgent, demanding with loud cries that he should be crucified. And their voices prevailed. So Pilate decided that their demand should be granted. He released the man who had been thrown into jail for insurrection and murder, Barabbas, for whom they asked. But he delivered Jesus over to their will. You see here, Pilate, he tries multiple different times. Listen, this guy's innocent. I don't find him guilty at all. What has he done wrong? But the people are so insistent. Crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. Give us the other criminal. Let him go free, but crucify Jesus. Ultimately, Pilate gives him over. And as they led him away, they seized one Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, and they laid on him the cross to carry it behind Jesus. And there followed him a great multitude of the people and of the women who were mourning and lamenting for him. Are you caught up right here, guys? Yeah, Michael, I understand that was not an easy decision. Are you caught up now? Now Jesus has to carry his cross off to the crucifixion. He's carrying the cross, but Simon of Cyrene, they call him in, help him out. Help Jesus out. Okay? And everybody's following him. And the women are following him, and they're crying their eyes out. Okay? But turning to the women, Jesus says, daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming when they will say, blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed. Then they will begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things when the wood is green, what will happen when it was dry? see, guys, don't forget the previous prophecies about what is going to happen to Jerusalem and the temple and the Jewish people and all the early Christians. It's going to get bad. It's going to get real bad. And these women, they are crying for Jesus right now. And he says, don't cry for me. Cry for what's about to happen. For yourselves, for your children. There's going to be a day you wish you didn't even have children. That's how bad it's going to be. And so it says 2 others who were criminals were led away to be put to death with him. This is where we get the famous image of, the 3 crosses, right? We've got the 2 thieves crucified next to Jesus. Here they are. And when they came to a place that is called the Skull, that is Golgotha, this is where Jesus was crucified, there they crucified him, and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people stood by watching, but the rulers scoffed at him, saying, He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, his chosen one. The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering sour wine and saying, If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself. And there was also an inscription over him that said, This is the King of the Jews. They're mocking Jesus. They're offering him sour wine. They're saying, oh, look, if this guy's really the Messiah, just get off that cross and save yourself. If you're so powerful, save yourself. Right? Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. They're killing the very Messiah that's about to save them. I mean, geez, guys. He's about to give his life for the sins of the whole world, including the very people that are killing him right there. This is the epitome of love your enemies. I mean, this is next level love right here. And the people are so hardened of heart, they can't even grasp it. They just want to mock him and give him this sour wine and say all these things to him. This is the English Standard Version right here that I'm reading through. So one of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and save us. But the other other criminal on the cross rebuked him, saying, Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong. And he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus said to him, Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. And a lesson for the ages was right there, guys. Did you notice it? Did you notice that Jesus says, today you'll be with me in paradise? What did he say? Jesus, remember me. Jesus, right? No big ceremony. Didn't do 50 years of Bible study. The guy was a criminal ready to die. For everybody out there that wants to know, well, can the worst person in the world on their deathbed accept Jesus? That wraps Luke 23, guys. It's a heavy, heavy chapter here. We have got, yes, Joshua, give me a second. I'll get into that. We got a lot of stuff going on, guys. We've got Herod and Pilate. We've got Pilate saying, listen, this guy's innocent. What do you want from me? But the people wanted him dead so bad. Jeez. They're screaming, crucify him, crucify him. They put him on the cross. They beat him down. They do all these things, right? Everyone's crying and weeping. It's a huge scene. And, yeah, absolutely. Now I see you guys' comments. And what happens? He puts him up there on the thief on the cross, next to Jesus. One of them is mocking Jesus. The other one saying, hey, don't you realize we're up here because we deserve it? He's up here for no reason at all. He hasn't done anything wrong. Powerful chapter, guys. Yeah, Dana, I definitely am fighting through, getting choked up here while I read this stuff. So that's right. Pilate's wife, that's not in this one, right? She has a dream about him and says he's innocent. You know what I mean? We come to find out there were some secret followers. Joseph of Arimathea. We find out Nicodemus. They want to take his body. They want to treat it right after he died here. So a lot of stuff going down. A lot of stuff going down here. And remember, Luke acquired this from all the sources. He went to all the eyewitnesses, and he made sure that he had the account down as it is. He wanted to make sure he covered every detail he could confirm as he made this stuff. So that's it, guys. Luke 23, we only got one more chapter. So there it is. There's the harshest moment for us. Jesus, the innocent man, dying on our behalf right here. We don't even realize it at the time, right? Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even get it. This is the love of Jesus. You guys don't even realize what's going on here. Yeah. Sith, I'm not so sure. Possibly, I haven't decided what's next. I do know that Acts flows right from Luke, so that might be a fun one to get into. Eduardo, thank you for the crane. All right. Contessa, love to hear that. Of course. I got the English Standard Version. I'm watching you watch it. I know, right? HVR Quinn, Liz, thanks so much. That's right. It's crazy because some of the stuff we find out in the letters, it just gives you a wild perspective, right? It says, we come to find out later, God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself. We find out, what's crazy to think about, guys? This is a hard concept, right? We're reading about Jesus on the cross 2,000 years ago. We come to find out that we were crucified with him. While this is going on in some sort of mystical, spiritual way, guys, even though we didn't trust it till 2,000 years later, 2,020 years later, we were in Christ, crucified with Christ. We're reading about this event right here. So this is Jesus's crucifixion. He's the one that had to do it all. But out of his great love, we were included in it. It's hard to even explain. But this is what Romans 6 talks all about. That his death was our death. His burial, our burial. His resurrection, our resurrection. He did it all for us. He included us in his life. He is our representative. He is our true human. He is the God, I said this before, he is the God that knew man and the man that knew God. And he included us with him, guys. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I just made a video. And this is the dividing line right here of just history, guys. This is it. You want to know when we read scriptures, there's a pre this and a post that. Danny, I'm lit up by the love of Jesus. Curran, thank you so much. This is where it all goes down, guys. You want to know what happened 2,024 years ago that changed the world? We're reading about it right here. 2,024 years ago that changed you? That's what happened, guys. See, God didn't change. God is love. God has loved us through and through, but the crucifixion and the resurrection to come, it changed you. This is what Romans talks about, guys. And now, as we read the scriptures, yes, Nick, I do think a lot of the warnings were about 70 AD. I don't think everything was about 70 AD, but a lot of it was. I mean, a lot of this stuff went down shortly after Jesus. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Dana, right on. Yes, Johan, I think so. Dyer, thanks. Thank you very much for the gifts, guys. So now when we read the scriptures, guys, we can look, okay, everything was leading up to this. Everything he said to his disciples, to the Jews, to the Pharisees, it was leading up to this moment. Right? So all the harsh teachings, all the tough parables, even some of these were bringing you to the end of yourself to show you cannot do it, and that Jesus is the only one that could actually do it. He's the only one that was totally, completely innocent, and he had to die the death that we deserved. You see what I'm saying? Because of sin, guys. But here it is. He sheds his blood on the cross. That is how the forgiveness goes down. Hebrews tells us, without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. You want to know if you've been forgiven, you just got to see if Jesus shed his blood on the cross. Dana, I think I'll finish it tomorrow. Just for time's sake. Just for time's sake. Yeah, are we living in the book of Revelation right now? Yeah, I think so. A lot of stuff going down. But I'm not one that says, hey, we've only got 2 years left, or we might have, a long time left. I'm not sure. But I definitely think it is playing out as we speak. Coach Cal, let's see, what is tomorrow? Is Friday. I don't know, probably around this time, whatever this is for you. Yeah, we stay ready. We stay ready. We're excited for the return of Jesus, guys. That's us. But it'll probably be around this time, 3 p.m. for you. Yeah, probably about that, roughly. But listen, you see this little button up here in the top right? I'm pretty sure you could click that and click notify me if he goes live. I think a lot of people do that, and then they can, see whenever I'm live. New Direction says the fastest growing religion. You got to think about this too, guys. Okay, yeah, let him know how how to get those notifications if I didn't say the right thing there. But you got to think about this, guys. This is where Christianity blows up in the part of the world that is most harsh towards it. Look at what they did to the founder. Look at what they did to Jesus. They killed him. This is the most violent, harsh area, and yet we're about to see Christianity explodes right here in the heart of Jerusalem. In the Middle East, where it was very harsh towards. Of course, yeah. Yeah, walk and woke, of course. It's eternal truths are eternal truths. Hey, Coach, I say, find a translation that is easy to understand, man. I don't know what he was saying, but find a translation that is easy to understand, and then start from there. Take it easy. Don't try to dive into Leviticus or Deuteronomy and try to figure out things here in 2024. Look and study Jesus. Study the resurrection. Find good teachers on YouTube, on TikTok, wherever. There are plenty of good teachers out there too. And they can help you. They can help you understand the right perspective. Like I said, guys, we just hit the dividing line, the cross. So you need to be able to, in your mind, separate pre-cross, post-cross. Who are you? Where do you fit into the mix? Are the scriptures talking about you? Are they talking about an unbeliever? Are they talking about a Jew before the cross? Hey, guys, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. To understand our identity as we read the scriptures is so important. Matthew 21, is that in 23? Okay, calm down, New Direction. I got it, brother. What are you talking about? You're worried about, is it the Lord, Lord, depart from me, I never knew you? This thing that seems to scare a lot of Christians. Right? Dan, there you are. So, the famous, verse has come up that everybody is afraid of. New Direction, come on, man. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I was gonna answer your question, but you just got right off to the next thing. Nyla, thank you. No, it's no use. You've made up your mind. So you can't do that, man. You can't do that. All right. Nikki, thanks so much. I'm doing great. I really enjoy these lives. I enjoy reading, sharing the scriptures with everybody, talking about it afterwards. In case you guys didn't understand here, now look, this guy right here, New Direction wants us to know that he is the ultimate Christian, guys. He's more Christian than Christians. I mean, I didn't even realize that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that was a category, guys. But New Direction here is letting us know that he is more Christian than Christians. He is the best of the best, guys. He is the top of the line. If you want to be a Christian, you better look at New Direction, because that's how you do it. You pop into TikTok chats and you brag about yourself and your behavior. Although I do think sometimes the Bible calls this self-righteousness. I think sometimes that says, we're self-righteous when we're bragging about ourselves. I thought we're saved by grace and that it had nothing to do with us. But New Direction here says he doesn't eat pork, he doesn't drink alcohol, he's more Christian than all the Christians. I guess the Bible gets it wrong, but New Direction gets it right. Let's just keep that one in mind, guys. The truth burns. Okay. That's right, guys. You always got your Pharisees in the mix, right? Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, Connor, one thing we need to know that just because the word Lord is used doesn't necessarily, now sometimes it does, but it doesn't necessarily mean God of all creation. It can. But all throughout history, the word Lord is used as a respect term. It's used in a way to show respect to the teacher. Lord, help me with this here, stuff like that. Now, there are times where Lord is used like Jesus is Lord. He is the God of all creation. But specifically in Matthew 7:23, what I think you want to focus on when you see that is that Jesus says, I never knew you. I never knew you. That's not a Christian, guys. A Christian, Jesus literally lives in a Christian. He knows us and we know him. For the self-righteous people in 7:23 are saying, look at all the stuff I did. New Direction reminds me of him a little bit. Look at me, I didn't drink alcohol. Look at me, I didn't eat pork. Jesus goes, all right, get away from me, dude. I don't even know you. But to the Christian that says, it's all about you, Jesus. It's all about you. Thank you for saving me. He says, enter into eternity. Hey, Nico. All right, here we go. And there it is, guys. All right. All right, sounds good. Walking Woke says the spirit bears witness. That is a great one, right? His spirit bears witness with our spirit, crying out, Father, Abba, Father. We know, on the basis of Jesus' life, we can know we are saved. I don't know Jeremiah 1:5 off the top of my head. Yeah, there it is, guys. By the way, if you want to join my newsletter or my YouTube, there it is, Resurrection Walk. The link is in my bio. Click on it, type your email in. I'll send you an email. Go on my YouTube. I'll put links up there. I'll put these lives up there tomorrow. And guess what, guys? I learned how to make a thumbnail. So you could go on there and check out my cool thumbnails. How about that? All right, Iris, thank you for joining the team. Steve Morrison, thank you. Okay, awesome. I love that stuff. That's right. I know. It's pretty impressive stuff, really. Hey, UK. All right. Yep. Thank you, Tiny. Yeah, Luke is great stuff, guys. I mean, obviously, it's one of the Gospels. To hear about the crucifixion and how it went down and everything like that. And now we got incredible news tomorrow, guys. The resurrection. Let's read about that. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that tomorrow. Sando, I've been doing it once a week, man. Pretty much Wednesday mornings, I send it out. Dino Champion, tell me that's not the Bible, bro. It is. How crazy is this? I'm telling you. You told me not to tell you, but I am telling you. It is the Bible. How crazy is that? I know. I'm with you. A lot of stuff. I mean, just to imagine what was going on here. And to know this is all part of it, it's just, it's hard for us to wrap our minds around, all that was going on there, the love and the self-control and, hey, geez, who knows? Yeah, thank you. News about the newsletter, I don't have any real news about it, although I think I told you guys it's hitting its capacity. So many people have signed up, which is awesome. I don't know hopefully I could just keep using that website. We'll see. I'll obviously let you guys know. No, Dustin, I did not, man. I did not. Yeah, Leighton, right on, bro. It's Luke is packed, and we got one more tomorrow, Luke 24. We'll finish it there. It's going to be good. Let me see here. Yeah, not even that long. And personal story, guys. I was here. I went to this. It's one thing for us to read it. I read it many times, and then I went there. And I went to Golgotha, the place of everything like that. It's like, at some point you have to say, hey, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. All of us at some point had to change our mind and say, okay, I believe. You know what I mean? But... Thank you for the tiny dinies, guys. The historicity of the person of Jesus is undeniable now for the people who believe he is. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, just historically speaking, you can make a case for all of this stuff. If you're going to, the Watergate argument in favor of the resurrection, that's pretty good. Look, there's plenty of evidence out there, guys. there's a buddy of mine on here who says it's rarely an evidence issue. It's mostly a heart issue, right? We find that, sometimes the circumstances of the world turn people away from God. Sometimes their own actions turn people away, but it's ultimately a state of the person's heart. Has their heart been hardened to this message or not? The Watergate argument is basically that when it came to the Watergate whatever scandal in the 70s, right? You couldn't have 12 guys keep a story together for 6 months before it cracked. And yet, in the case of the disciples, we have 12 guys that all kept their story totally and completely consistent for years and years and years up until the point of death. So it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek argument, but it just goes to show, if the resurrection of Jesus was a lie, somebody would have cracked. Somebody would have spilled the beans and said, "Never mind, dude. I'm lying. I was just making it up." But turns out they all went to their death in some fashion for the claim that they did see the risen Jesus Christ. Oh, George, it was crazy. I just thought, wow. I was just, hard. It's hard to imagine, right? And according to them, again, I hold a little bit of skepticism, but we went in there and they moved away, supposedly to the original ground where he was laid. It took them, I don't know, tons of years of excavation and stuff. But anyways, it's just really surreal to even think about. Wow, this is where it all went down. This is where the resurrection took place. Like I said, this is where John and Peter ran to the tomb, and this is where Mary and the women saw it, and they came, and the stone was rolled away. It was all right here. It's really crazy. Yeah, it is amazing. I wish everybody could go do it. Yeah. All right, guys, 4:19. I tell you what, I'll stick another 5 minutes and then I got to get going. 6 minutes. So 4:25, I will take off. Right on, Alba. If you want to put on the newsletter stuff for me, I'll check that out. I've never been to the, thank you. I've not been to the Bible newsletter or the Bible museum. I had a couple buddies that have went, and it looks pretty cool, but I've never done it actually. So if anybody does, gotta let me know how it is. Why are there different Christian denominations? Just because, when people read this, they interpret things a certain way in a certain fashion. All Christians basically affirm the same fundamental truths, that Jesus is God and that he rose from the dead and the scriptures are true and all these things. But in the way they worship and the way they go about certain things, there's a bunch of differences in that. So that's where you get a bunch of different denominations. Hey, George, thanks so much. The newsletter typically goes out on a Wednesday morning as for right now. King, you got it, brother. Yeah, I enjoy doing this. You guys know that. We read Luke 23 today in the English Standard. Probably Luke 24 tomorrow. As long as we can make the time, we'll do it. King Eddie, yeah, please put the notifications on and let's do it. And plus, I just put a little video out, guys, to help you kind of understand my view on some of these things and why I read it this way. It's a little music video. If you remember, Jesus earlier in this, in verse number, or chapter number 9 even, he says, deny yourself, pick up your cross if you want to be my disciple. Well, we just need to keep this in light of what has occurred, right? Because Jesus denied himself. Jesus carried his cross. But if you notice here in Romans chapter 6, it says, we died. Our old self died. And now we're new. So now we don't need to deny what God has made new. There's a big event that went down in the middle of two of these scriptures. Jesus says, deny yourself. And Paul says, count yourself alive. And something in the middle here went down, and that's called the resurrection of Jesus. Do we have a way to paradise? Jesus is the way. So it's all about Jesus, really. I didn't know that Tyre was being rebuilt. I had no idea. All right, Eddie, sounds good, bro. 3 minutes, guys. I'm out of here. Christy, thank you. I have this feeling Randa's going to pop in and be like, I just made it. 2 minutes later. Yahweh, which is actually YHWH or whatever, comes from the Old Testament and the Old Hebrew, and that is how when Moses asks God what his name is, and he says, I am who I am, or I am what I am. Anyways, it's spelled out that way. I can't even say it, but YHWH, and we kind of translate it Yahweh. Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard the breath thing before, too. Is the English Standard just the New Testament? No, that's English Standard, just the translation of the whole book. W.F. Apollo, there's a guy inspiring philosophy on TikTok here, but he's also on YouTube. He's got like 4 different videos all about the evidence for Exodus. Hey, Em, how's it going? So yeah, there's plenty of evidence for Exodus. Inspiring philosophy, right? Yeah, of course. Before Abraham, I am. That's right. There you go. Jesus letting you know, hey, I know I'm 33 years old, but I've existed forever. So that's kind of a wild statement that threw all the Pharisees off. All right, Doug. Cool. Thank you for the gifts, guys. And the hat, of course. All the gifts are appreciated, guys. All the likes, all the shares. Emmanuel means God with us. That's why, because Jesus joined us in our humanity. That is what it means. Emmanuel, God with us. That's why they called him that. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Our boy Wi-Fi Wisdom coming in just too late. You're just too late, bro. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Join the email Resurrection Walk or YouTube, and we'll do that. I thank you guys very much. We'll catch up hopefully tomorrow around the same time. Appreciate you guys. All right. Have a good one.